Here we go. Who needs notes? Just wing it. Folks, I'm showing up. I'm trying. And who saw this episode coming? I'm not even going to verify the stream. Forget. Let's dive on in. And let's go ahead and start with this screen share right here. We're going to get to this in a minute. I imagine that's going to be hard for y'all to see and read. But we're not messing around. Holy smokes. Something is off. And it's time to address it head on. Let's go ahead and just tune this down a bit. I'm going to get way too ramped up. But after years of building on Rumble, driving traffic, bringing people over and supporting what was supposed to be a free speech platform, the numbers are no longer adding up. Followers are seemingly disappearing, yet not as a number. On our page, we're going to show the page here in a bit, and we're going to show you what is right in front of our eyes, and you can make your own assessment. This is an email I sent out to Rumble earlier today, over 8 hours ago. And they've seemed to drop the ball. There's other responses and emails we're going to get into that they frankly have gone ghost over. They're not responding. What does that tell us in this time? But yes, followers are disappearing. The engagement itself is collapsing. Views dropping from hundreds to barely anything at all. And there has been no clear explanation, no accountability, just silence. This is a time for Rumble to step forward and answer some very simple questions. Will they? Because silence is one of the strongest answers there is. And are they going to stay silent? In this live, we're putting it all on the table. Are followers being removed without consent? Is our reach being suppressed? Who really controls this platform now? Has Rumble changed behind the scenes? This is not just speculation. This is based on real first-hand experience that cannot be ignored any longer. We're not here to play games. We're here to get answers. Because without transparency, there is no trust. And without trust, there is no platform. At least there shouldn't be. And we all should be shifting to the ones we could put our trust in. If you have noticed similar issues, it is time to speak up. Engage. Comment. Share this. In fact, if you have better recommended platforms for us to be putting our efforts in, please share them in the comments. Please email me at unmuzzled, as I'm tripping up over my words with excitement, at unmuzzledchat@gmail.com. I anxiously await your recommendations. This is a collaborative effort. We must have somewhere in this digital era we live in that we can trust and shift to. Ultimately, if we have to play hopscotch, and this is one of the more concerning, disheartening aspects to right here, right now, is we didn't even take full advantage of Rumble when it seemingly was supporting free speech. And then it wouldn't even be this dooming cloud looming over us because we know the answer. And it's to shift immediately to somewhere we could trust. But I digress. The only way we push back is together organically. real people, real voices, cutting through whatever algorithms are standing in the way. And understand this, that level of conviction, that willingness to stand, speak, and act, it doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from being strong mentally, physically, and spiritually. Hence why we're so excited about True Shield. When your health is compromised, your voice weakens. Your acknowledgement of prioritizing and assessing the true threats even weakens. When our energy is drained, your action fades with it. That's why taking back control isn't just digital, it's personal. And we believe we found a standard of care that's helping people reclaim that very edge, unlocking clarity, strength, and resilience at a level most never even experience. This is about shifting the paradigm from no longer accepting the unacceptable to over our dead bodies. What happened to that? Give me liberty or give me death. What happened to that? We like to project as though we know what freedom is. We stand for freedom and we're willing to die for freedom, yet give away our freedoms on tyrannical, suppressing, like with oppression, very blatantly in our face. We're giving it away in the engagement on the very tyrannical social media platforms we engage in. And Rumble, I want to put them in the hot seat. Prove me wrong. Prove me. Prove to me that you're not just allowing seemingly to people the ability of freedom of expression, yet stifling their efforts behind the scenes. Prove me wrong. This is your opportunity, Rumble. You can see who they're boosting, who they're pedestaling. And who is it? Dan Bongino? Get out of here. He is for sale. Tim Pool? Also for sale. You can see who they're... Benny Johnson? Get out of here. Also proven to be a complete sellout. So for many of us, that shift starts with protecting what matters most. Our health, our ability to function. Check out TrueShield.me to see our solutions. Get the cocoon. You're getting the offer from yours truly, full money back guarantee. If you're not happy, there's the contact. You just got to give it a chance. We're doing a 30-day trial, folks. Commit to utilizing that for 30 days. And if it doesn't blow you away and you can live without it, I have no problem. We will cover the shipping. You will be out zero, nada, nilch, nothing. We are that convicted in this being a major solution. Okay, this email, and we'll get into the nitty gritty. We'll show you as to what led to this very bold stance in putting Rumble in the hot seat. But let's read the email right here. I have pulled up on the screen that we sent to none other than Rumble support team. To whom it may concern, I am writing to formally request an explanation and investigation regarding a concerning issue affecting my channel on your platform. A verified follower on my channel recently discovered that they were no longer following my account, despite having taken any action to unfollow this channel. This individual has previously subscribed, received notifications, and actively engaged with our content. Upon noticing the change, they were required to manually refollow Unmuzzled Chat. Your support team indicated, because this individual reached out, and I'm going to read, keeping anonymity at the forefront, but I'm going to read some of the correspondence already with Rumble and their answer and then their lack of response. But your support team indicated that only the channel owner has the ability to remove followers. I am stating clearly for the record that I did not remove this individual, nor have I authorized or taken any action to remove followers from my account across the board. I'm telling Rumble and the world this. This raises serious concern. If the user did not unfollow voluntarily and did not remove themselves, then the removal occurred through your system. In addition to this incident, I have observed a significant and sustained decline in reach, also engagement and visibility on my channel that does not align with historical performance or follower count. Yeah, the numbers aren't mathing, folks. While fluctuations can occur, the magnitude and the pattern of this decline raises reasonable questions, alarming ones at that. But regarding platform behavior, distribution mechanisms, or potential technical issues. Given these factors, I am requesting the following: a formal investigation into whether follower status can be altered by any system process error or internal mechanisms. Number 2, access to any available logs or records showing changes to follower status for my account. 3, a clear explanation of how follower relations are managed and whether they can be modified without user or creator action. Number 4, clarification on whether any content distribution limitations, throttling mechanisms, or technical issues may be impacting my channel's visibility or engagement. Please understand that this inquiry is being made in good faith, but also with the expectation of transparency and accountability. The integrity of the user relation, followers, subscribers is fundamental to trust in any platform. If this matter cannot be resolved or adequately explained, I will consider escalating the issue for further review. I request a detailed response within a reasonable time frame. Sincerely, James, Unmuzzled Chat. Yes, this has me all sorts of ways. I'm not going to lie. But to keep anonymity, let's go ahead and give you, the Unmuzzled Chat crew that somehow still is following the channel. It's really hard because we have a worldwide footprint. Mostly here in the United States of America. We're not the United States anymore. We're the divided conquer states of you know where. But I digress. It's really hard. How am I to know? They have full admin control over these platforms. I visually haven't seen a downtick as to people unfollowing. Doesn't mean they're not getting automatically unfollowed, just like this individual experienced. That could be a form of suppression. How am I to know? How are you to know without going in to Rumble, checking Unmuzzled Chat, seeing for yourself whether you're followed or not. And this may seem insignificant, but this is so significant. This is the public square. This is now, through social media's podcasts, has become the source for information. News isn't news. We know better. Safe and effective. Get out of here. They never apologize. They are effectively propagandist outlets. And look no further than following the money for yourself. The majority of news outlets are mostly funded by Big Pharma and other places. We don't need to go down that road. You've done the research, you know. And for those that haven't, follow the money. It'll lead you places you didn't expect to go. So I'm challenging some of the Unmuzzled Chat warriors to check out for yourself. You may not even come across this on Rumble, but if you followed Unmuzzled Chat on Rumble, please take the additional effort. Look for yourself. And this is what it is. You could screenshot, but how do we even know? It'd be easy for any of you to unfollow, screenshot. Oh, look, it happened to me, right? So in a way, we got to just start taking people's word for it. But I trust you. I believe you. If you go in there and you were previously following and you're not following anymore, think about that. Think about the impact that's having on you. And for information as a whole, and for truth to get out there, we must have that level of trust in systems. Rumble has yet to give us a decent explanation at all. In fact, let's go into this situation. This individual, we're going to keep, what do you call it? Anonymity with, stated, I was following Unmuzzled Chat. Then I was kicked off of following him by your platform. Tell me what happened here. It is unacceptable not to be tolerating shadow banning individuals. A succinct explanation is warranted here. Yes, I agree. Well said. Your attention to this matter is greatly appreciated. This individual went to even go to as far as sharing their username on Rumble. Even the device and the phone and the version of the app they were utilizing. Well done, said individual that may or may not futuristically come on the platform to share the truth of this situation. Rumble did respond. Fantastic. What did they say? I'll read it to you. Hey there. The decision to mute, block a user is at the discretion of the channel creators and moderators. So they're essentially stating that Unmuzzled Chat blocked this user. Well, this individual has my direct line, was able to reach out to me. I verified with this individual that, that didn't happen. I haven't muted or blocked a single user. That still doesn't explain muting. How does that lead to unfollowing? If it was a blocked, how was this individual able to refollow? So it's interesting. They're just ridding themselves of doing their due diligence and giving proper explanations. Well, it continues. This individual reached back out to the support team. Hi there. I confirmed with Unmuzzled Chat channel creator, moderator, that I was never blocked nor muted, nor kicked off of the owner, nor kicked off following the owner of the channel. It still goes without saying, if I don't think I have the ability to have someone unfollow this channel. But anyway, it's just crazy that we're here But this is so crucial because this is a way of totally disrupting truth and patriots from getting organized, from building out protections, effectively challenging any of our oppressors. Unbelievable. After all the years, this is what I get through Rumble. Unbelievable, right? Well, we saw this coming, but frankly, why wouldn't they cave to the beast system at the point the people aren't willing and shown through their actions that they're not willing to self-sacrifice and choose enslavement over freedom through our choices, even on where we spend our time. Therefore, this is shadow banning being allowed by your platform. Please look into this and get back to me. Much appreciated. This is where Rumble has dropped the ball. They haven't responded. There's been no proper investigation, proper explanation in any way, shape, or form. Let me close this out, and I'm going to pull up something you're probably familiar with. Once again, this is going to go out to all of the podcast apps that exist. So a lot of you are going to hear about this. You might not have made the jump to Rumble. Please let me know. I created a BitChute and I tested and I uploaded. Now I messed up. I'm going to agree. I'm going to admit what do you call it? If I go in here, edit, they have a content sensitivity setting. And I didn't think much of it in the creation. And I put NSFW, not suitable for work. Because it didn't list out many. And I should have just put a over 16 or over 18, some type of along those lines, because this is 100% suitable for work. Our channel, essentially for any mature adult that doesn't shy away from questioning things. But it's like, if I'm going to build this out, I didn't think that putting this sensitivity was going to be, that's it. Let's just create it. Let's upload something. Let's get familiarized with their platform here, because I've heard BitChute more so works on like a blockchain where they cannot really shadow ban like Rumble or any of these other platforms where it's just, a private, fully built out, easily integrated suppression machine. But unfortunately, it looks as though I can't change that. I've reached out to BitChute, but I may just have to take this down and recreate the channel. Who knows? But I'm willing to put in the effort and blast to the moon, just like I've done for many years for Rumble. And who knows? Maybe they have a good explanation. Maybe I'll share and say, hey, I got ahead of myself on that episode. I apologize. Didn't mean to sound the alarm. All cards are still in on Rumble. That still is on, that opportunity on the table. But like Charlie Kirk, rest in peace, brother. He talked about sharpening his ability of pattern recognition. And it's not a self-aggrandizing or tooting my horn, but I believe I've refined my pattern recognition in this case, that it just is not looking good for Rumble. And I'm putting them in the hot seat. Help me out here, folks. I need you. I need to find where we can really invest. Telegram, still, it seems really up there. However, it really doesn't cater to It's over my head the way it runs. Maybe one of you could even offer your services to walk me through to utilize it more effectively, but it doesn't seem to be the place where we could just dump content like this in it continuously in this manner. But let's share the screen here. As we do, let me get a sip of water. The excitement has me all sorts of riled up. I'll go ahead and put on the music. Is it the elevator? Is it this one? Which one is it? Here we go. Just enjoy this music while I take a sip. More like a healthy chug. Take a breath. Thank you, elevator music. That is, I believe, what you were invented for. Make things extremely awkward, but settle the nerves a little bit as we get in a little tight box that just blasts. Anyway. So let's take a look here, folks, at the channel. Let me just full screen this for you. Make it a little easier on your eyes. Let's just jump over to like 4 and we'll just do the countdown. So look, here we got one. Over 3,000 views. 300, just shy of 300. 277, 430, 327, 347, over 300, over 300, over 300. 471, 338, 583. Just as they were popping out at me. 358, 322, 519, 402, 246, 230. This one's kind of lower. 185, 445, 3. So just look for yourself. 573. 276, 324, 324, 379, 410. Anyway, and let's just get into the recent drops. Mind you, they are more recent. However, most of the episodes just hit these numbers of like 300-400. If we were to average them, it hits that within the first few days. And then there's a little uptick just over time where it may get an additional few views over time. And a year later, one extra view. Nothing crazy growth in that regard. Here we have one. It's 750. And this was just the end of this last year, and then moving into the recent ones. And the recent ones are after the experience of this follower reporting that they automatically were somehow unfollowing a muzzle chat, not of their own doing, not of my doing. So who else other than Rumble has yet to be seen, whether it was intentional, accidental, some type of system update? Well, how do we remedy that? Rumble must get on the ball. But after that engagement, it is notable. This is 16 days ago, folks. This episode right here, I'm throwing the cursor around. For those that are just listening to audio in one of the other podcast apps, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to articulate well enough that we have a 16-day ago. Once again, this is after that individual shared that information. 72 views. 15 days ago, 31 views. 14 days ago, 35 views. 4 days ago, 20 views. This would already be 4 days ago settling out, but in the hundreds. 4 days ago, 25 views. Another one. 2 days ago, 21 views. Yesterday, 10 views. It's like they're actively shutting this down in real time right before our eyes. Now, at this point, we are left with theorizing. We are left with speculating because Rumble hasn't given us any definitive, clear answers, investigation, responses. So it has yet to be entirely, like, where's the evidence? What's going on? Nothing has changed on our end. We have 1,430 something followers actively on Rumble right here on the screen. These numbers do not make sense. Even when we go back into some of these ones that were still not, for whatever reason, this tells us one thing. There's a level of shadow banning, algorithmic suppression that is taking place. But even the engagement on these, if we click into any of these episodes, 5 likes with hundreds of views doesn't make sense. 0 comments doesn't make sense. And this is where another patriot, I want to say a year ago, but it was over a year ago, might have been 2 years ago, did an assessment of a muzzle chat on Rumble on my behalf because he also has a podcast and a Rumble channel. And he built out a graph and showed me his channel first. And on the graph, and as he explained it further, he was essentially proving right before my eyes is to Rumble's algorithmic suppression. He even brought to question it might even be through the web and the Internet of Things somehow in some manner that is unexplained, that is really hard to prove. All he had was the data that he gathered, and he did in a very effective way, and I'm planning on reaching out to him, seeing if he could build this out. He also had one built out regarding a muzzle chat. And this is what I know. There's certain things you can't talk about without experiencing a level of suppression. Bring it on. That is the reason for a muzzle chat. That is naturally where we're going to gravitate towards, because anything that's being suppressed with a clear hierarchy in existence is what must get out for us to have a chance of securing future freedom, everything we care and love in this physical life that leads to meaning and purpose. On that note, let's go ahead and interrupt my monologue and play this very powerful Instagram clip, and then we'll continue. Give this a listen.
Greatest ways for you to miss the meaning of your life is for you to try to avoid your suffering. The Buddhists have this math. Suffering is pain multiplied by resistance. The most important teacher of the meaning of your life is your suffering. And one of the greatest ways for you to miss the meaning of your life is for you to try to avoid your suffering.
Give me an example.
Nobody ever said, I really figured out what I was made of that week at the beach in Ibiza. No. They talked about when my mom died, when I almost lost my business, when I flunked out of college, when I got really sick, when I was truly scared, and I made my way through it. When I understood, when I went through, that suffering was my teacher about who I am as a person and the meaning of my life. In large groups of people, you find when you ask them to talk about the meaning of their life, they always talk about their terrible times. They always talk about their suffering. Always. That's the way it is. And if we have a culture that tries to get rid of pain, you have a culture that gets rid of meaning. One of the greatest ways for you to...
A culture that gets rid of pain, tries to run away from it. I fully agree. We start running away from meaning, purpose. The very essence as to why we are here. That's why I'm running directly into this. for growth, to fulfill purpose. I believe Charlie Kirk is one of our greatest examples right here in America, that once he saw it, this is the very essence that led me to walking away from Charlie, because I'm like, how do you not see it with the suffering in Gaza? How do you not? And you just want to embolden. But as soon as he started questioning, well, what did happen on October 7th? Weren't there stand down orders? And then being one of the rare individuals within the White House, having this administration and this president's ear, and trying to deter essentially this administration to going into full-fledged war in the Middle East on behalf of Israel, that it is not in America's interest, and it will lead to the loss of life of Americans and innocent lives in the Middle East, and potentially kick off World War III, because who else is linked to these other countries? We see how this is directly impacting the world's economy, and it is downright dangerous. And that's where suppression leads. When people head right into it, just like Christ. I'm not calling Charlie Kirk Christ. No. I'm not worshiping that man, but I am encouraged by him. He is a very powerful example of someone convicted in truth, in biblical truth. And when he saw it, there's no unseeing it. And he started going that way, and he wasn't purchasable like a Dan Bongino or Benny Johnson character. Even InfoWars and that shill. Who saw Alex Jones taking that shift just under financial and other pressures? We cannot effectively stand on pillars of truth and be beacons of light and be for sale. You have to be willing to carry the cross and pay the ultimate sacrifice, just like Christ did. So I believe Charlie Kirk did achieve full glory. And the fictional narrative that they're trying to boost up and have just sweep under the rug, just like JFK and so many others, that's not honoring these men's memories, what they stood for, the foundational work they were accomplishing. More people must be willing to take that stand over my dead body. Give me freedom or give me death. We live in such a diminished state, I believe, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We're not even willing to say, come what may, in posting something, because we might be called a label. This conversation is now transitioning into something much bigger and much more important. And I hope more of us start leaning into the meaning and the purpose is to being here, because it isn't the rat race around us at all. What do you take with you in this world when we get called home? There's not many truths to really hone in on in this life. That is one of them, my brothers and sisters, that we are all faced with in this existence. You could see how those that do not truly understand and follow Christ, that's their greatest fear. Look at the world elites, the 1% of the 1%, the world bankers, the cabal that run this beast system, this occupation that is dividing this nation. We need to get back to the United States of America and a united people, children under Christ. And through example, not through force, just through example. It doesn't matter. Do I believe we are, in fact, going to answer that call in such a way that we will see that type of utopia living out in this world? No. It's written. I don't believe we will, but it doesn't. But by acknowledging that doesn't take out the importance of seizing this moment, this gift, this challenge of choice in this life right here, right now. Each moment, each day is so easy to get wrapped right back up into the way of the world. I know by experience, it pains me that there's a level to this life, it seems, and getting by. I mean, tapping into the finances to survive in this civilized society. I'm trying my best to get away from all of that beast system. It's really hard to figure out. Hopefully, collectively, we can do that. We can start building out communities, tapping more so into the bartering system, developing a separate type of currency, if you will, away from this privately owned. I believe that in and of itself was the downfall, the pivotal moment where this country shifted from being a godly country to being utterly owned. Was in 1913 when a evil cabal indebted this nation through a federal reserve. And there's nothing federal about them. And there's nothing they're reserving. It's a beast system indebting a government, indebting its people. This financially gave them the ability to infiltrate our education systems, infiltrate our medical systems, infiltrate, you name it. And now you look, they're through this fake construct of opposition that we're only given that choice between a freaking elephant and a donkey. Get out of here. Red versus blue. I do not subscribe to that anymore, and I will not till the day I die. That is the joke. That is how we're being played by a uniparty, by an evil cabal, an Epstein elite, where they will literally go to any length, even kick off an unprovoked war to actively cover up Charlie Kirk's assassinators, to actively get the pressure off of the Epstein release. Because you pull that singular thread hard enough, they are entirely exposed. My brothers and sisters, we're caving and cowering to pedos, such a disgusting, vile, I can't even call them creatures anymore. They're literally possessed. What level of possession do you have to pray and be blackmailed? I can't even say it. It is so utterly disgusting. But it's involving children. And it's beyond sexual lust. We're fighting demonic individuals, possessed individuals in this life. It is of the utmost that we up and pay attention, and we're responsible and good stewards over our bodies, our minds, our spirits. This right here is a level to the creating and diminishing our abilities to organize, even organically get messages out. Part of this is there's a hope that Rumble rectifies this. But there's a part of this that I know it's potentially just all this is going to be gone. It's just going to be stricken down. But part of me celebrates that because we need more starch examples to snap out of it. But part of me knows that our lights are so diminished, it's hard for us to even tap out of what's demanding our time, developing new ways of thinking and operating, falling into meaning and purpose versus this rat race. It's extremely challenging. It's hard to fall upon a lot of these convictions, but that's where I believe we're on to something very powerful. And I do genuinely believe we have great solutions to unlock a better version of you. Breaking a chain of control that they've already rolled out. The stats are there. We've already been bombarded by 5G for almost 6 years, maybe a little over 6 years now. Look at the deterioration we're experiencing over very quickly these 6 years. I got a challenge. Go to thisantennassearch.com. Here's just an example. I punched in a zip code right here in Tempe, Arizona. I want people to think about something. This is encompassing our younger generation right here because this engulfs ASU. And within this 3 miles, our students, our young minds right here in the zip code of 85282, there are 231 towers with 768 antennas bombarding them 24/7, 365. You think that's upping their neurological function? A known classified radiation? Known to cause cancer and worse things because, yes, frankly, there are worse things than cancer. How do you protect yourself from this? Right here. This is one method. The cocoon. To create a healthy atmosphere that your body can recharge, reset, heal, recalibrate. We've known for a long time that this mostly happens in our sleep. That's how our bodies operate. And when we're good stewards over our body, God obviously picks up the slack. If you can't afford this, please reach out. Guys, that's why there's a contact. I'm not going to bite. This is family owned and operated. We're here to serve you. We've given a lot of these full transparency away for free just to kick off the pay it forward chains where how cool would that be? That no one actually has to buy one of these for themselves. That once one feels the shift that this provides, just giving the natural body a chance to do what it does best when we sleep. And they feel that, and they have that level of conviction that they now purchase it for the next person. So we kick off a new chain that's unchaining us, essentially, in the pay it forward model. That's the new chain. Maybe that's the wrong analogy to be using when we're talking about freeing folks from this radiation. I'm showing up clearly with all my flaws in this moment. But dang it, I feel this So many others are already feeling this. So many testimonials. So much credibility is coming very soon. It's all being built out as we speak. But you can be a part of this and benefit from this immediately. And why does anyone need to be symptomatic to take this serious? Seriously, put in your address. Go to antennasearch.com, put in your address. Put in your zip code. You don't trust them? Fine. Put in your zip code. Pretty much the same. You'll get the same numbers either way. Throw in your zip code. Just with this. And this is what's interesting. Hopefully we'll gain the financial ability and the momentum to get credible individuals with meters in people's home testing across the board. But think about this. It's situational. It depends on how these towers are situated around your address to really determine the amount of radiation emitting in your safe places where you lay your head at night. So you don't have to have 230 towers and 768 antennas for it to be a threat. There could be one tower with 3 antennas that could potentially yield a higher radiation to your atmosphere than this. It's not as likely. So determine your situation for yourself. But this right here is the most powerful way to protect yourself. From there, it's like great. Once you feel that shift for yourself, now all of a sudden it's like, well, what actions can I take within a reasonable amount of expenditure time that is within my control now outside of the cocoon throughout my day and minimize this known classified radiation. And that's where the inserts come into play. That's where the modem pack comes into play. That's where Faraday bags come into play. These mats, these covers, these other dimensions of this effective shielding material that you can integrate now into backpacks, handbags, purses, and you could utilize based on the dimensions of everything here, even the Faraday bags. There's different dimensions here that may suit someone's bag or purse better than the mats. Doesn't mean you have to put the device in the bag and have it go ghost. You could still stay connected, utilize these as modern day shields on a modern day battlefield where it changes. The threat isn't bows and arrows and stones and catapults right here in our civilization. It's, yes, we got to be mindful of our water, our food, the air. But it takes this momentum, I believe, to even address those aspects. You can get water filters for your water. That's a workaround. You can source food better. That's kind of a workaround. The air is a little trickier. That's going to take a collective effort to put the bans in place and to ensure the bans mean something and lead to not being sprayed like freaking bugs. And it's not debatable, folks. You can look at our own government and essentially their admissions to trying to dim out the sun to combat global warming. Well, what are they doing in that? You could look into their patents. It's aerosolizing nanoparticles, including aluminum, strontium, barium, trying to reflect the sun rays back out of the atmosphere. It's actually creating more of a warming effect than what it's combating. But I digress. That's another road to go down. But we must start addressing this, and bless us, help us. We're trying to help you, help us help you, and build out the momentum to where we could start addressing those other threats as a collective. I appreciate you. I love you. I could tell I'm now malnourished. I'm starting to get the shakes. I got to eat something. We all have our limitations. But give this website a look. Start reading all the literature. Look at the visual cues. Look at the facts. Look at these statistics, these videos. We've made the short versions right here on the homepage, hopefully enough to evoke enough thought to do deeper dives. The deeper dives are right here in the video section. I mean, should we play this one clip? Let's scroll down. Here's the visual cues. If it takes someone in a position of prestige, right here. Does your cell phone cause RF radiation? Yes. Does your cell phone cause cancer? Yes. Okay. Well, listen to our health, the HHS leader right here. None other than RFK. Give this a listen.
Cell phones also produce electromagnetic radiation,
Boom.
which has been shown to do neurological damage to kids when it's around them all day,
Boom.
and to cause cellular damage and even cancer. So,
Boom.
a cell phone use and social media use on the cell phone has been directly connected with depression, with poor performance in schools, with
Folks, don't take my word for it. So many people are using AI systems now. Why don't you do this? Kick off a very interesting chat. It's going to try to walk you back and disprove this a little bit like it did me, because I asked it definitively, hey, show me all the manuals to Samsung phones and Apple phones and any phones. In the manuals, I know it states something along the lines that it's not for hand use. And it admitted, and it tried walking me back very cleverly, deceitful, manipulative. Nowhere does it say that, and yada yada. That would defeat the purpose of a cellular device. And I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing here. I see you. Well, how about this? How about you look in the manuals and tell me any caution it talks about minimum distances or recommended distances. And you know what it admitted? What it disclosed? Because it's really good at digging all that up. Everything from our cell phones, our watches, our laptops, our routers, modems, anything and everything that has Bluetooth, Wi-Fi ability, cellular ability, connection in that regard, in all the user manuals, it talks about a minimum distance requirement. So, okay, ChatGPT that tried walking me back from the edge of looking into this, stating that would defeat the purpose. You're just admitting there's a minimum gap requirement. How do you use it? That is admission of defeating the purpose. In a sense, it blatantly stating it's not for hand use because it's talking about a gap requirement. How do you use it? How do you touch the screen from a distance and operate your phone? How do you go about your day with your phone and not breach that gap, recommended gap? You're going to tie a collar and a leash and drag your phone through the dirt? Come on, folks. This is not rocket science. This is not something hard. And it blows my mind. How did I go so far and live out so long in this time and not absorb that? And that's not common knowledge. And it's right there in all our user manuals. It's there. Have fun. Chat with your AI systems. Pull up those answers. If you find one that is totally giving you the runaround, reach out to unmuzzledchat@gmail.com. Put it in the comments below. I don't know what we're going to do. This is a crazy time. Let's just kick this sound back off. Let's just... Do not fear. I lean into these challenges. I hope this is encouraging you to do the same. And I'm telling you, it gets so much easier when you unlock your natural body's ability to do what it does and recharging. I cannot speak enough about this cocoon. Unbelievable. Such a gift. Such a blessing. It's already made out. It's already here. It is. We are beating out any price points in real Faraday material, military grade even. I just hope that we can maintain the supply chain to continue to keep this available. So get it while you can. And we have a good stockpile. And we're trying to acquire more and more and more. It'd be nice to address this at the root to where we don't need shielding. But the fact of the matter is, you need it now. You may not even know that you need it. And everyone you love. But I digress. More important than the shielding we can acquire in the flesh, which is important. Let's try to acquire some of the armor of God. And there's some biblical references right here under armor. So I challenge you to check these out for yourself. Armor for physical battle. 1 Samuel 17:38. Soldiers need armor. Jeremiah 46:3-4. Weapons cannot stop God's power. Ezekiel 38:4. These are scripture I'm going to dive into because we need that spiritual armor above all. But we also got to be good stewards in the flesh. It's telling us right here that soldiers need armor. Well, the battlefields change over time. I mean, think about knights. Is it realistic for us to put on steel armor? maybe that'd be effective blocking radiation material. Who knows? Be the Tin Man walking the streets? No, let's be real. That is going to be extremely costly and very unrealistic, and we'd be laughed out of any room we showed up. That's why, anyway, we're trying to provide effective material in a huge aspect that we're all subject to. No one is entirely resilient to this. And even though you're not symptomatic today, what about tomorrow? We must up the awareness to even get ahead of 6G. We may not be able to wake enough up fast enough to combat that from rolling out. We need to prepare and have the armor necessary for that shift. Spiritual armor prepares us for life. Romans 13:12. Righteousness is a spiritual weapon. 2 Corinthians 6:7. God's weapons conquer Satan's strongholds. 2 Corinthians 10:14. Put on the armor of God. Ephesians 6:11-18. I know there's a lot of visuals. Representation of the helmet and the chest plate and the sword and the shield. It's just walking hand in hand with our loving Creator. It's not something you put on. It's not something you earn. It's something that's given. And I can feel it. It's given more freely when we show up, when we are good stewards, when we are responsible, when we don't turn away because this is too controversial. This seems too inconvenient. Let's try shifting the paradigm and focus on what matters. Bring back meaning. Back to that clip. I need to add that link to that clip in this episode. I'm going to go ahead and do that and get some food in my system. It needs nourishment. I feel it. I missed you guys. I love you guys. I want to do more for you. How can I show up better? This could be the last episode on Rumble for all we know. That they're like, nope, we don't like this guy anymore. He's too unmuzzled. Who would have thunk? We were doomed from the get-go to be unmuzzled in a muzzled time. Is the greatest threat to our enemies in the flesh, to evil. It's biblically written. He is the deceiver and the destroyer. We see you, Satan, not today. Folks, by hitting that like, hitting that share, that is picking up the sword in today's day and age. Unbelievable. Teaming up, finding the other platforms that we can build momentum, organization, build out God's kingdom, fulfill purpose here. Let's go. The time is now. I hope this is encouraging. I love you. Till next time, God bless and take care.